Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, just dandy, thanks.
You're welcome.
Happy anniversary!
Yes! Yippee!
It's our 30th episode, everyone, and Auntie Joan and I are going to cheers. Clink, clink,
Yes, here
clink,
we go.
Clink, clink. To 30 episodes. I am drinking a red blend from Apothic.
Apothic?
That is the name of the wine, yes. And
Oh.
you are drinking?
I am drinking dingleberry gin with elderberry flower tonic water.
Yes, indeed.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. So as part of our 30th episode, we're going to talk about some things that have to do with this milestone. So first thing we're going to chat about is, and I'm going to pose the question to Auntie Joan first. How did you feel turning 30 years old?
Awful.
Oh,
That was the worst decade transformation ever. And
really?
I've turned 40, I've turned 50, 60, and 70. And 30th was the hardest one for me.
Wow.
Now, I came up with a generation that said if you're over 30, you're the enemy.
The enemy?
Yeah.
What
Oh,
does
yeah.
that mean?
Part of the establishment and all that stuff. Yeah, don't trust anyone over 30. Really?
Never heard of that
Yeah.
before.
Really? Well,
Never
see?
trust anyone over 30?
Yeah, don't trust anyone over 30. Yeah.
Why?
Because they were part of the establishment by then. They sold out to the man. You know what I
Oh.
mean? I wasn't a hippie. I wanted to be, but I just didn't have the guts to be a hippie. But you did kind of take in some of that thought stuff. So turning 30, it was, well, and then at that time, too, that was a crazy year for me because at that time, the company I was working for was going to start a new office site down in Arizona. So we were kind of being pressured to move down there. Fortunately, at that time, the company would still pay for your moving and living. They paid for people to go down for survey trips to see if they really wanted to go. They actually helped you find another job within the company at your location if you chose not to go. So, yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Staying here and getting another job. But turning 30, yeah, not my favorite.
Oh.
How about you?
It was the year 2000. So,
Oh,
but it was after Y2K, so I already knew that we weren't all going to blow up or anything like that. It was kind of a non-birthday, unfortunately. I was
no.
transitioning between a job.
You were
in Colorado.
transitioning
From a job in Colorado to a startup company in Northern California. So I was actually packing and getting ready to make the drive out to Northern California with my two kitty cats, Bombay and Pandora.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was a hectic time for me. So I didn't I don't even know if I did anything on my birthday, to be quite honest with you. I don't remember it if I did. It was a whirlwind time for me. So I don't know. But as far as feeling anything differently, it was just another year for me. It didn't impact me at all. I always wanted to get into my 30s because I felt like in my 20s, I wasn't being taken seriously. And I kind of used 30 as the milestone where people actually might take me a little bit more seriously because I'm not the young kid on the block anymore. I'm established in my career at this point, and maybe I actually can contribute things that people would want to listen to. Yeah, that was about so I was actually looking forward to it.
Well, it's interesting that your career and my career, both of our lives, career-wise, was kind of in a upheaval.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what year I got married. that first time. I was either 30 or 31.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all tied into that whole your biological clock at 30, it starts running out. And maybe I still wanted to have kids and the company moving down. And I guess I just wanted to have some stability. So, what better way to do that than marry somebody? Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then, I mean, you didn't ask, but my 30th birthday
Mm-hmm.
was celebrated in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
I went with my mother
Mm-hmm.
and super fan Sandy B.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, she
Sandy
turned
B, Sandy
yes,
B, Sandy
she
B.
turned she turned 30 the same year I did, just like within a half month or a month of each other. So we thought we'd go to Las Vegas and my 30th birthday was on Friday the 13th.
Oh, fun.
So I thought, I mean, that's got to be a message from the gods saying you get in there, you're going to strike it big in Vegas.
And
Well, no, didn't happen. Didn't happen. I got so pissed. But we saw, are you ready for this? The stars we saw? We saw Anne Margaret.
mm-hmm.
We saw Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, I
She
do
could
love Shirley MacLaine.
she could really kick back then too. And the pièce de résistance, Liberace.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we saw Liberace.
Now, when you say you saw them, were they in something, or you just saw them in the casinos?
In the
What are you
in the
referring to?
in the theaters, in the casinos. We yes, paid money to see their shows.
Gotcha.
Since none
Gotcha.
of us were really big gamblers,
Mm-hmm.
we decided to take in the shows.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I don't think I've been back to Vegas since then. I think my taste for all that stuff was just tainted so badly that I just had no desire to ever go back.
Tainted so badly from.
Oh, like when you went to the shows, everybody had their hand out for a tip.
Mm-hmm.
You show them your ticket and then they take you to a table. You don't have a specific seat. They put you at a table or whatever. And if you grease their palm with some money, then they'll give you a better table. They'll give you a better seat. I refuse to do that. And the fact that I lost all the time, it was just, yeah, not my scene.
Yes, I too do not like Las Vegas. I've been several times. It's been a long time since the last time I was there. It's too hot. Yeah, I just not a fan. I've never had I've had good times there for sure, but I never had like, oh my God, we went to Vegas and it was so much fun. I mean, it's like, it was fun. But I'm well beyond that now. I have no interest in ever going back, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
Only reason I might go back is if there was a particular show performer
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
like ending their career there or something like that in residence and of true interest to me. I'd love to see like Rod Stewart, but he was only playing in the summer. I won't go to Vegas in the summer. I won't do it. And I don't know what the new year is going to bring, but if he does a show in wintertime, he's got a sporting chance of getting me to get there. But if he's only going to be in there in the summer months, sorry, Rod, can't do it. It's too hot for me.
And Adele had her last show there, right? She's
hmm
not retiring. She's taking a break for a while, an extended break.
Yeah, she does that.
Oh, does she?
hmm She did that before. So,
Oh,
okay. Well, that's cool that you went to Vegas. And didn't you have a Friday the 13th themed party somewhere along
oh, on my 13th birthday?
your 13th birthday?
Yeah, that
That's a
was
great
also
one.
on Friday the 13th.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Oh, I thought you said you had fun.
Oh, it was, yeah, I mean, my mom wanted me to have a birthday party, so we invited some girls. I mean, I couldn't tell you who any of them are now. I mean, I've never seen them since we moved. But yeah, it was a fun party and everything. It's just, I was not gifted with a wonderful, popular, beautiful teen life. So I would kind of say, well, my life went to hell after my 13th birthday. That was on Friday the 13th. So I kind of blamed it all on that.
Oh,
So when my 30th birthday was coming up on Friday the 13th, I thought, well, maybe this is going to be the turnaround. There's been good and bad. It's got nothing to do with it. I come to
correct.
realize, yes.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. All right. Then we wanted to share some anniversaries with folks that are related to 30th anniversaries, and then some other ones that we just thought were fun that you guys may want to know about.
And be shocked the how long it's been since they happened.
Nothing really shocked me, no.
Really?
Mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm. But do you want to kick us off, Auntie Joan?
30 years ago in 1994, a trip down memory lane. And we just had the Summer Olympics, but for the Winter Olympics in 1994 was when Tonya Harding's,
You mean Tanya Harding. Say her name correctly. Stop it.
it says Tonya,
It's
Tonya.
Tanya.
I know, Tanya. Tonya Harding's fellas went and attacked Nancy Kerrigan. I think most people who are of age and would remember that. It was quite the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanya went on to win the U.S. female figure skating championship. I don't know if she got the Olympic. I don't know who got the Olympic gold that year. But 30 years ago was the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan debacle.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Cobain committed suicide 30 years ago. Sad, isn't it?
Never liked Nirvana. Not that I wish anybody to commit suicide, but didn't really faze
He
me.
didn't like Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Hated all of their music.
Really?
Really did.
I mean, I even kind of like that.
Nope.
What about the drummer there that's gone on to, what's his name?
The Foo Fighter guy.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the Foo Fighters either.
I mean, I don't either.
I like him when I see him on shows and stuff. He's usually pretty funny, but I don't follow them.
I used to like their videos. They were kind of cute. Anyway, I mean, those were back in the MTV days when MTV had music videos, which they don't anymore. The Rwanda genocide started 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Nixon died at the age of 81 from a stroke. The Channel Tunnel linking England and France was officially opened. Mm-hmm. Nelson Mandela was the confirmed winner of the first South African post-apartheid election. John Wayne Gacy was executed. Mm-hmm. I got all kinds of good news. Oh, Jackie Onassis died. Oh, and do you remember the marriage between Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson? That happened 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And remember when they were on, there was the MTV Video Awards and they appeared on there and they gave that gross, just unbelievable kiss? Do you remember that? It was so uncomfortable. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Oh, the O.J. Simpson. Well, he was accused of killing Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Let's see. ER premiered on NBC. It's hard to believe that show's been around 30 years.
Yeah.
I never watched it. Ceasefire was declared in Northern Ireland. Jeff Bezos established Amazon. Aerosmith was the first band to allow their fans to download an entire new track free from the internet.
Very cool.
Friends debuted on NBC. Cartoonist Gary Larson announced that he was retiring from doing the Far Side cartoon. Burt Lancaster died. Oh, Susan Smith. Does that name ring a bell? She's the one whose children she killed. And she said that she had been carjacked. And turns out, yeah, she was the one that drowned her kids. Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer. He was clubbed to death at the prison that he was confined to. So that's my excitement from 30 years ago. You got anything else?
I do. That second awful and disgraceful Woodstock happened. And never should have, and we shouldn't call it Woodstock.
Is that the one where like girls were getting raped and everything?
Yeah, it was awful. Just awful. There was some technological milestones in 1994 as well. The IBM Simon cell phone, or PDA it was called at the time, but it was really now realized as the first smartphone that was commercially available. That was kind of cool.
That was news to me.
Yeah. And then AOL purchased BookLink as a browser to offer its users a gateway to the World Wide Web for the first time. And the initial release of Netscape Navigator as a web browser.
Boy, I remember using that.
Oh, yeah. Netscape was cool.
The sound of the modem dialing up and screeching when you connect. And yeah.
So those were the only additions I had for the list. They were mostly technology. But yeah, fun. And then there were a few other anniversaries that you had noted.
Oh, 80 years for D-Day? 80 years ago. My goodness. The Wizard of Oz came out 85 years ago. SNL 50 years ago. It'll be interesting to see what they do this season. And then Jan Frankenstein, 50 years.
That's Young Frankenstein for those who didn't understand that. I don't know why you keep butchering names.
Because as he says, it's Frankenstein.
Well, cool. Yeah, I think from an SNL perspective, I believe What's-His-Face is actually retiring this year.
Oh, yeah. The producer, creator.
I forget his name. I could see his face, but I can't think of his name. They may be announcing his successor, which I believe they were grooming Tina Fey.
Really?
That would be kind of awesome. Those were the rumors. I don't know if that's been confirmed. That's my understanding of where the talks were. We'll see.
I thought they were talking about Jimmy Kimmel, or not Jimmy. It couldn't be Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy Fallon. They wouldn't. He's too goofy.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear that. So I don't know.
Yeah, should be interesting.
Yeah. Anything else in generic terms regarding 30, whether it's the anniversary or anything?
I'm just, when I hear about how you were looking forward to turning 30, and I dreaded it so much, I think that's it goes to say what the generational thing can do. I mean, not that we're perfect examples of our generations, but I think that, generally speaking, I think maybe we kind of represent maybe what people's feelings. Have you talked to anybody in your, age group about turning 30?
No.
How they felt about it?
No. Sadly, it was really career focused back then. What a waste.
I don't know. You've done all right for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. And in celebration of our 30th episode, we're going to be discussing today movies turning 30 in 2024. Ones we've seen, ones we've liked, ones we didn't like. Kind of sky's the limit here. Auntie Joan, is there a particular movie you wanted to start with?
Oh, well, let's see. One of the ones I really liked. Oh, Stargate. That came out 30 years ago.
What is it?
Stargate with Goldie Hawn's husband.
Kurt Russell?
Yeah. Where there's that big thing and they can go to another planet. And yeah, it was pretty good. So that was one I thought was pretty impressive. And I liked it. I still don't mind watching it to this day.
I don't even think I've ever heard of it.
How about you? What's your top of the list?
Top of the list, it's a bit of a toss-up, honestly. I mean, from the year itself, I would say it was probably Forrest Gump.
Oh, really?
But now looking back, I think Shawshank Redemption would be my number one.
Yeah.
Although The Professional, I did really like The Professional with Natalie Portman. And that's where I really fell in love with Gary Oldman as an actor. Get me everyone. Everyone!
I don't think I ever watched that.
Oh, movie. It's so good. That was her movie debut. Yeah, she was very young. I forget if she was 12 maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's about an assassin. Her family gets killed and she ends up going to live with these. I don't honestly remember if he killed her family. I don't think he did. She ends up going to live with this assassin, Jean Reno. And
Gary Oldman's character.
No. Jean Reno is another actor. He's been in other things. If you saw his face, you would you'd be like, oh, I've seen him in things. But Gary Oldman was the crooked police officer, if I recall correctly. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, so but
Mm-hmm.
it's a good movie. And Natalie Portman is learning the assassin profession from
At
Jean
12 years
Reno.
old?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's an interesting dynamic. It's
Wow.
I really like that movie. I don't think I would still make it number one, but it is up there for sure for me.
The first time I remember seeing Natalie Portman was in the Star Wars thing.
Oh yeah, no.
And I thought she was so beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, oh my gosh, stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a non-obvious way. I mean, it's not like they frou-froued her up. I mean, well, some of the characters, makeup and stuff, yeah, but I don't know. She was just stunning.
Hmm.
Natural beauty.
Mm-hmm.
How about Schindler's List? That came out 30 years ago.
It won the Oscar 30 years ago. I don't think it came out 30 years ago.
It came out 30 years ago. It won the Oscar.
It won the Oscar in 1994 because you just talked about it in the last segment. I don't think it actually came out in 94. Could have, because that would have made this top 15 list for sure that I've been referencing, and it's not on there.
I think it debuted
93
in 93 and it won the Academy Award in 94.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So it still counts. I got a list for the domestic box office for 1994. So that's where I'm getting my list from.
I got it from this site that just did the top 15.
Ah. Oh,
and I have the link in there.
And I have 200 movies on my list.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about all 200 of them.
How about The Lion King? That was number one, biggest gross.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see that? You didn't like it?
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, you didn't like it. I know, it's a cartoon.
I saw it back in the day, and it was good back then. I did like it, but I haven't had a desire to ever see it again.
I am not too crazy about animation.
Mm-mm.
And I saw The Lion King on stage, in Denver, downtown Denver. And I wasn't real impressed with that either. And I hate to say it, but I was probably maybe one of a minority that just, I don't know. As I think I said, a bunch of puppets. Now I'm sounding like my dad. Yeah. Another one on the list was Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
it's okay.
I thought it was pretty good. And what's her name was that her debut?
Who?
She was in Civil War.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, what other movies do you have on your list?
True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Speed, the first one, came out that year. That was the first time we really saw Sandra Bullock, even though she had done a couple movies before that. Was her big break. I remember liking all these movies. True Lies, I really do like. I have watched that since, for sure. Speed, I probably watched a couple more times on VHS or DVD, whatever was available back in 94. But I haven't thought about that movie in a long time until I saw it on the list. And I was like, oh, yeah, that. Let's see, what else? Oh, Pulp Fiction. To me, that was a one and done for me. I'm glad I saw it. Do not want to see it again. That was disturbing. Not a fan. I mean, like, I can't say I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't a fan. It was a well done movie, but it was too disturbing for me to watch again.
Yeah, you're not a big Quentin Tarantino fan,
I'm not.
are you? Yeah,
not at all. He's too violent for my taste, and quirky and violent.
Oh, yeah, I like quirky.
Yeah,
to some degree.
Trying to think what else was on the list. The Crow. I never even saw that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Clerks. There's the start of the Clerks series. So I don't think I saw it in 94. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I saw that until later. But I did like it once I did see it. It was cute, quirky, silly. Not something I watch on a regular basis or anything like that. There were some foreign films that I never heard of on this particular list. Hoop Dreams, I remember hearing about, but I've never seen it. We talked about that and that.
Did you see Schindler's List?
Yes, I did.
So I've never watched it.
Yeah. I saw that in the movie theater, pretty sure.
I just felt it would be too disturbing.
It was. It was
Yeah.
another one that for me, one and done. Oh, but there's one foreign film on this list that's I almost fell over when I read this. Hang on. Where is it? I think it was a Spanish movie. It is 439 minutes long.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, yeah. That's way too much.
400?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. 24 hours in a day. What does that take us down to? How many days is that?
No, no, no. It's not days. Hours.
Well, I know, but
439
if you
minutes.
take 400 and divide it by
60 minutes to an hour. I don't know why you're going to days. It's hours.
it's the Dingleberry
it's
Gin.
it's over 7 hours long.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's awful.
Are you now? Come on, you've binge watched shows.
Not a single movie in that length of
No,
time. That's
no.
crazy.
Well, let me see what other ones I have on my list. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I think that was a one and done for me.
Yeah,
Cute.
I think I saw
Back
it
in
a
the
couple
day.
times. Jurassic Park. That was another one.
I never got into those. The very first Jurassic Park I saw was the last time my brother and the kids came out to visit, and we went and saw the latest one with
Jeff
guy
Goldblum.
no, because this was a late one. So this was like only a few years ago or 5 years within the past 5 years.
Oh,
No. This was with the guy from Parks and Rec who was heavier back in the day, and now he's all thin and buff and doing action movies. And I can see him perfectly. I really do like him a lot. I can't imagine why I can't think of his name. But anyway, I never saw any of the original Jurassic Parks ever.
none of them, huh?
No, dinosaurs weren't my thing.
Yeah, they weren't really mine either too much. But, well, I was with Larry then, so he liked to watch them, and they weren't too bad.
Chris Pratt, that's his name. I just needed a sip of wine to help me remember.
He used to be heavier? Really?
When in Parks and Rec, he was adorable. Yes, he was Andy Dwyer in Parks and Rec, and when he first started, it wasn't huge, but he was beefier for sure. And then it got all svelte and started doing all these action things.
No. Natural Born Killers.
That was a one and done for me for sure.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
That was Woody Harrelson, right? And the chick, the weird chick.
I really like her.
Yeah, I do too, actually. She's a very good actress.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? There was a redo of Miracle on 34th Street.
Boo. Only the original.
I know. Exactly.
Only the original in black and white. Thank you very much.
Yes. I remember I was all excited when that new movie came out, and I thought, oh, this is going to be fun to see how they do it. Well, when they show her finding the house that she had dreamed of, that was the ideal home where she was going to live happily ever after, the little girl. And it's this huge mansion type thing. And no way. That was just too much.
Never saw it. Don't care to. I won't even watch the colorized version of It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, really?
Nope, it's got to be black and white.
Well, you have your principles, and good for you. You stick to them.
My Christmas movies are sacred.
Oh.
Anything else on your list?
No, I did have 200, but I don't think they're all worth discussing. I think we've discussed plenty.
Yes, I think, Shawshank Redemption for me is just, at the time, I don't think I appreciate it as much as I do now that I've seen it many, 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 many more times. It's just such a poignant movie and sad, disturbing, but very well made. And
yeah, I need to go back and watch that again. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's a good one.
And I do like, well, both the lead characters.
Yes, Tim Robbins and
the other one.
He always plays God. Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
I've seen him play God so many times.
Well, he's got the voice. Speaking of the voice, I was sad to see that James Earl Jones passed.
Yes, I saw that. That was very sad. I agree. I like him. He
Hmm.
did a
Hmm.
cameo not that many years ago on The Big Bang Theory, and he was just silly and fun, and it was adorable. I really liked him. I
I
liked him a
like,
lot in Field of Dreams
oh,
with Kevin Costner, the
yeah,
baseball
yeah,
movie.
yeah. I don't think I ever watched that all the way through.
Oh, he was so good in that.
Hmm.
But yes, and he was Mufasa. So going back to The
That's
Lion
right.
King,
That's right. Yep.
he
Yep.
was Mufasa.
Well, he's got that voice. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. And again, sticking with our 30th episode anniversary theme, we're going to talk about 5 commercials that were supposedly the top Super Bowl commercials for 1994, 30 years ago. And I'm just going to read the names of the 5, and then we'll go back and chat about one or two or all 5, just depending on where our conversation goes. So one of the first ones was the Pepsi "A Chimp Experiment Goes Awry" commercial. Then there was the Doritos Chevy Chase Gets Fired from Ad commercial. Then it was Lipton Bo Runs Down a Skyscraper commercial. And that was Bo Jackson back in the day, folk. McDonald's Bird Jordan Ignore Barkley. That would be Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley. And then the 5th one is Converse Grandmama Flees 3-Point Land. And that is leveraging the Charlotte Hornet star Larry Johnson. So I know I want to talk about the Chimp Experiment Goes Awry.
That was cute.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Yes.
That little chimp's in it. And it's basically back in the day, folks, for those who don't know, Coke and Pepsi had a lot of competing commercials where they always tried to outdo each other and had like competitions, which tasted better, Coke or Pepsi, and blah, blah, blah. So in this particular commercial, there's 2 chimps. One drinks a Coke and one drinks a Pepsi. And they were going to study them after that. And 6 hours later, the chimp that drank the Coca-Cola was able to, put pegs in the round holes properly and had good cognitive skills. And the Pepsi chimp was missing. And then they found him. Oh, no, he calls. Sorry. The phone rings and it's him. And he's out having a good old time. He went and got into a Jeep without the top on with a few girls. They were heading to the beach, and it says something like Pepsi, be young, be happy, something to that respect. I don't remember. And I was happy because I was a Pepsi fan, so I was actually happy that it went the Pepsi way. So there you have it. I like that commercial. What was your take on it, Auntie
And
Joan?
I drink Coke. So
I know.
I was a firm Pepsi drinker for a while back in my younger years. I don't know why I
Oh, why
started on.
did you switch?
I don't know. I don't know. And now, I prefer it. Maybe
I'm
it's not as effervescent. I think
Hmm.
the Pepsi is more bubbly, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. And what I found was back in my young years, late teens, early 20s, that it was the perfect hangover remedy to drink a Pepsi. So this was my thing. It had to be room temperature.
Ooh.
No, I'm not done. Had to be room temperature to start. You put it over a full glass with ice all the way to the top. You pour the Pepsi in, and it gets cold by the ice, but it couldn't be refrigerated ahead of time. And I don't remember why I thought this, but that was the way I did it. And then I would drink it, and the Pepsi bubbles would scratch my throat because I was a smoker too. So between the smoking and the drinking from the night before, the Pepsi would just scratch my throat on the inside, and I loved that. It made me feel so much better.
How much did you smoke back then?
Oh, I was never a heavy smoker. I smoked
Oh,
a lot when
oh.
I drank. When I
Ah,
drank, I could easily smoke a pack of cigarettes at the bar.
holy smokes.
Easily. It was chain nonstop.
Yeah.
Outside of drinking, one or two a day.
Wow.
That was it. Yeah, it was really a drinking thing for me. It was a social. It was probably social anxiety, actually.
Huh.
And I just felt more comfortable having a cigarette in my hand.
I wonder what people are doing today.
Vaping. They still have something in their
Oh,
hands. They're just doing the
oh,
nicotine vapes now.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I drink Coke every now and again because a lot of times, like if I'm on a flight or something and I just want something, I will probably get it. And they all carry Coke. It's rare that there's a Pepsi. If there is, I'm excited, but it's rare.
Hmm.
So I don't mind Coke, but if I have my preference, it's Pepsi. I don't really drink soda very often either. More of a ginger ale fan these days.
I've
As
noticed.
Auntie Joan knows, I love my Schweppes ginger ale. She got me hooked. But now I make my own ginger ale, so I have that when I'm home. I only have the Schweppes when I'm with Auntie Joan.
Mm, mm.
I drink her stuff. I make her buy it, and then I
Yeah,
drink
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then I make my own shit at home.
You probably used to bum cigarettes from people all the time too.
Only when I was quitting, in
Oh,
quotes.
oh, yeah.
Yes.
One of
Because,
those.
yes, because I actually stopped buying cigarettes before they went crazy in price when they started really taxing the shit out of them, as they should. Not That's fine. But I had already quit, in quotes. So I was bumming cigarettes, not realizing how much people were paying for the actual cigarettes until I went with a friend to a little convenience store, and he got a pack of cigarettes, and it was like $5.50 or something ridiculous. I'm like, I'm sorry, you pay what now? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to be buying any more cigarettes off of you. Like, that's just me, and I can't believe you even gave me any. That's way too expensive.
I think when I quit, you could get a carton, which was 10,
10.
10 packs
Mm-hmm.
for, I don't know, maybe between $25 and $30.
Yeah, I think when I quit, they were like $2.50 a pack. $2.50. Maybe it got up to no, I think it was like about $2.50, maybe $2.75, something like that. When I first started smoking, they were $1.07 at the convenience store. $1.07. That's with tax, folks.
Well, I mean, it goes without saying, I got you beat. I remember
Well, I'm
going
sure.
when I was,
Well, you
when
started
I,
smoking earlier than me.
no, oh, I mean, when I was like a kid,
Uh-huh.
and somebody saying, well, go get me a pack of cigarettes. They give you a quarter. You go down, you put it in the cigarette machine, and you can get a whole pack of cigarettes for a quarter. That's what they were going for back then, back in the day, in the 50s.
I remember getting cigarettes from the Macy's ladies' room vending machine when I was, God, I don't even know how old I was. 11, 12, 11. 10 or 11, something like that. But I don't remember how much they cost. But I do remember we made a big deal about it. I was with my two cousins. We made such a big deal. We were so stupid. We were just kids, like, well, remember mom asked us to buy these. So, nobody gave two shits. Nobody was looking at us. But we made like this big production out of it that clearly was lies. It was very funny. Looking back, it was very funny. But yes, we had to announce that we were buying them for our mother, and our mother needed whatever the hell brand. I'm sure we were just smoking Marlboro Reds at the time. I don't think Lights existed yet back that early. And then I smoked Marlboro Lights from that point forward, once they became a thing.
I was a Cherryton 100 smoker. I would not smoke anything else. Would not.
Yeah. Marlboro Lights was the only thing I was smoking. You can't get those menthol things and shove them up your ass. Those were disgusting.
Yeah. When you mentioned the women's room, the lounge area
at the Macy's. Yeah.
Yeah, that reminded me. I worked at Allstate Insurance Company at the home office, and it was a big complex. It was my first day there, and I went in. I was doing typesetting, and I went in, and I'm sitting at my desk. I go in my purse, I take out my cigarette and lighter, and I light up my cigarette. And one of the women I work with, she's like frantic. She's waving her arms and stuff, and she says, "Oh, you can't smoke. You can't smoke at your desk here." Why not? Women weren't allowed to smoke at their desk. Men
but the
could.
men were.
Yes. If you wanted to smoke, you had to go into the women's lounge.
Oh.
But there were a couple women who took on the man, and they finally got it to where women could start smoking at their desks.
Wow.
And now this was like 1968.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, times have changed. Now nobody can smoke at their desk.
That's right.
Kids today just don't know what they're missing.
I tell you. Smoking on planes and all that wonderful
Oh my
stuff.
gosh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
gross.
And then they decide they're going to do you a big favor at restaurants and on the airplane and say, well, we'll have a smoking section and a
Yeah.
non-smoking section. Yeah, you're still smelling that stuff.
Of
And
course, there's one big broom.
yeah, yeah. And I am not one to put down anybody for smoking because I know how hard it is to quit. But I think it's nice not having to smell that all the time. So there you go.
Agreed.
So the next one was the Doritos. Chevy Chase got fired from an
Mm-hmm.
ad.
Mm-hmm.
And it said that he had, in the fall of 93, Chevy had started a late night talk show that debuted and was immediately canceled. And that's why they thought this commercial was kind of taking a swipe at all that stuff. So,
Yes.
and I give him credit for laughing it off, letting them make a joke out of it.
Indeed.
I
Yes,
personally don't care for him, but
yeah, I mean, I like his earlier movies and stuff, but I know I've heard all the rumors about how terrible he is
oh, I
to be
haven't.
around and to work with, and yeah, he's not a nice guy.
Did they say anything about Steve Martin?
I haven't heard
Oh,
anything.
oh.
I haven't heard anything, but yeah, he's apparently kind of an asshole to work with. Good old Chevy Chase. But I do just want to comment that we're getting this is a list from USA Today. We'll have the link on the episode, but it's a USA Today article from Alan Siegel from January 13th, 2015 is what we're referencing in our discussion here. And then Lipton Iced Tea had Bo Jackson running up, I don't know, some skyscraper. And then they said now they got to the top, they had a Lipton iced tea for him, but then they threw it over the edge, so he had to run all the way back down and catch it before it hit the ground. It was a really stupid commercial, folks. I
Sounds
don't even know how
stupid.
this made a
Yeah.
top 5. Slim pickings for Super Bowl commercials that year, I assume.
No, no.
I forgot what Bo Jackson was famous for. I do remember him. I don't know if he must have been a runner, I guess, or maybe he was a football player. I have no idea. I don't remember. I remember the name. I remember when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, I remember him. But
Baseball player.
oh, he is?
Mhm.
Oh, well, there you go.
Former baseball and football player.
Oh, okay. He did both. Because, yeah, didn't they have like Bo Does, all these Bo Does things? Bo, wasn't that the guy? The Bo?
I don't
I
know.
think so. I think he did a lot of Bo Does stuff things. I don't remember. It sounds very familiar to me. And like I said, he looks familiar and the name is definitely familiar to me. I just hadn't heard it in a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. I'd say it's been about 30 years, wouldn't
About
you?
that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Donald's had it's kind of like playing horse, the basketball game horse, where you do some kind of funky shot, and then whoever you're playing with has to try and make that same exact shot in the same exact way. And it's a Larry Bird and Michael Jordan little competition, but it's so ridiculous because they're so good that they have to do ridiculous things. And at one point, Larry Bird's like, they have Michael Jordan's face as part of Mount Rushmore. And he's like, you got to bounce it off your face. And then it's got to, hit whatever. And then it goes through the window. And then it's all net. Those are the kinds of things they were doing. And poor Charles Barkley's like, can I play? Can I have? And they're like, no, no. It's just silly.
Those are the good ones.
Yes. And I like all of those guys. So it's a silly, fun commercial. And then the last one is from Converse Sneakers, and it's Grandmama Flea's 3-Point Land. I never heard of Larry Johnson before from the Charlotte Hornets, but apparently he was in. He dresses up like a grandma, and honestly, I lost interest in the commercial very early on. So I just watched it just before getting on this podcast. I still can't remember what the hell it was even about because it didn't interest me at all.
Yeah, and I didn't see it.
That's all right. It was just on this list. So
Yeah, those aren't I would think the Super Bowl would have had better. I mean, Budweiser, they usually
I was just gonna
always
say,
have.
where are my Clydesdales, man?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just this person's opinion. I mean, I don't know what other commercials were on the Super Bowl that year.
I
19,
might have to look and find out.
oh, they call it Ad Meter. Yeah, in 1989, the USA Today Ad Meter debuted. Since then, thousands of people around the country have rated Super Bowl commercials on a 1 to 10 scale. Here are 5 spots that fared well in
Well, I guess
1999.
people with taste didn't know about it.
Yeah, it's other than the Pepsi commercial,
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
rest of them I could do without. Oh, and like I said, the Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Charles
yeah.
Barkley, just
And
because
and
it's
probably
fun
the
to see
Chevy
them.
and probably the Chevy Chase thing was, more appropriate and understandable back in the
Back
day.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because I didn't read the blurb underneath. And when I told Auntie Joan about
Mhm.
it, and I'm like, I don't even get this commercial. I don't understand it. Why he's being fired. I don't understand. And then she, of course, read the blurb that was right there for me to read that I didn't. And I was like, oh. At least that gives it some context.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That
So,
helps.
indeed. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else you wanted to share with our listener today?
No, I think I'm done.
All right. Well,
How about
happy
you? You got
anniversary.
anything?
Nope.
Yes.
Just
Can you
happy
believe it?
30th episode.
30th
We're still
episode.
cruising right along.
And we're still speaking to each
We
other.
sure are. Well, that wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.